Welcome everybody to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Michelle Marchant Johnson. She's a relationship coach at Love Life Coaching, and I'm so excited to have her here today because today we are talking about how to create an irresistible online profile. And this is a question I get asked all the time, so ladies, I know you want to know her best tips. But before we jump into it, Michelle, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and how you became a relationship coach.
Thank you, Suzanne. I'm so happy to be here, and welcome to all of you. So I, like many people who have found their way to this kind of work, came from my own journey, a long and winding journey to love, which ultimately led me to becoming a ecstatic first-time bride at age 43 after many years of challenging and interesting dating experiences. And I often share with my clients that there's not a whole lot they can share with me that I haven't experienced. So I would say I learned a lot the hard way, so to speak. But in so doing, I also gained a lot of wisdom. And when I turned 40 and was still single, I sought some support, which helped me to discover some self-defeating thoughts and patterns that had been sabotaging my love life. And the things that I was able to learn then and since have helped me to be able to help many other women throughout the world on their own journey to love.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into this hot topic. So, Michelle, tell us your first tip on how to create an irresistible online profile.
Thank you, Suzanne, and I'm so glad we get to talk about this because there's so much to writing that goes into writing a really irresistible profile, things that you may or may not have thought about before. And the first one is though your profile is to represent you and what you might be looking for, you have to really remember who it is that you're writing the profile for. You're writing the profile with the intention of inviting a man to interact with you and to help draw in the right man. And so there's really an art and a science to writing a profile and keeping your audience, in this case the right man, in mind when you're writing it, I think can be really key. Now there's a lot that goes into that, but wouldn't you agree this is really important, Suzanne?
Yeah, I mean, what you write in the profile, I think, is really important. But I think what first and foremost is the most important is the photos, and I'm sure you're going to talk about that. But yes,
that's one of my top 3 tips for sure.
Yeah, and so the essay portion is definitely important, but I find that the photos are first and foremost because men are very visual, and if they're not attracted to you, they're not going to get to the written part. So, but why don't you talk a little bit about the photos and what your tips are there?
Yeah, so certainly the photos are absolutely essential because, as you're saying, if the photos don't capture a man's attention, then no matter what else you write or whatever else you create, it's not likely to even be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, for many years, I worked in the press release industry where we did public relations and press releases for businesses. And of course, adding a photo was always a key element to getting attention for their news or for their business. And having the right photo could really make a huge difference. And then that also leads me into something else that's really important, which is your screen name and your title for your profile. But we'll talk about that in a minute. I think, Suzanne, and I think you'd probably agree with me, investing in good photos is an incredibly good investment if you're going to do online dating.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would say. I've seen a lot of online dating profiles where the photos are actually horrible. And you have to look at this as basically an advertisement for yourself. And that's the thing, is you're trying to attract the right man. And so your first photo it should be a full headshot, because when it comes down to that small thumbnail, if you're too far away, he's not going to be able to see you. So the first photo should be of you in a headshot, and then the second photo should be of you in a full body shot.
Yeah, I agree. And I also believe that it's a nice thing, even if you're not a woman that typically wears a dress a lot or wears heels a lot or anything like that, because you're wanting to attract a man. And typically, even if you don't dress that way, it can be really attractive to a man to see you dressed up in a feminine way with a dress or a skirt and maybe a nice little heel.
Exactly.
Even if it's not how you dress on your day-to-day life. Most men know that most women are not going to be wearing their nicest dress and high heels every day. And I'm not saying represent yourself as someone that you're not, but I think showing that feminine side of yourself can be really appealing. I've seen a lot of women who have photographs of themselves where they look quite masculine in the way they're dressed and the way they're presenting themselves. And I think a nice bright color that's flattering to you, wear a little makeup, even if that's not something you normally do, and really try to put your best foot forward. It's really almost like looking for a job, right?
No, it is. It definitely is. And I have to say that I think it's important, and I totally agree with you, Michelle, about, putting a dress on, heels on, showing your feminine side. And I know some women will say, but that's not really me all the time. And that's okay, because you just want to show all different sides of yourself so that he can see you dressed up. He can see you casual. But so that he sees all different sides of you, because you don't want him to see, like Michelle said, where you have just the masculine side, because that's not always going to appeal to him. It's not to say that he doesn't want that in you at all, but he needs to see that you have a full array of how you can look, right? So
yeah, it's like a diamond. You want to see different facets. You want to represent different facets. And they say a picture represents 1,000 words, and you want him to be able to see different aspects of your personality and who you are. And I also really like the idea of at least one of your pictures, not your main profile picture or perhaps not your secondary picture, but if you're going to go beyond that, of you doing something fun, of you doing something that you really enjoy or something that you're really passionate about, because again, that gives you that opportunity to show that other facet of yourself.
Exactly. Well, so what's your third tip, Michelle?
So my third tip is that I think that we oftentimes get really, really, really serious about dating in general. And I think that sometimes comes across in the profile. And so again, it kind of comes back to where I was starting with, that I think you want to make your pictures inviting, but also what you write in your profile inviting and fun and have some lightness in it. What you're really wanting to represent here is give a man a vision of what it might be like to be in relationship with you or dating you, and to offer some lightness and some fun around this. And remember that the profile is just an invitation for two people to connect. I think we overthink it too much sometimes when we're creating that profile, and we want to be so specific or so particular, and women get into saying, I don't want this, or don't contact me if that, or whatever. And it's like, look, we're just inviting a little bit of interaction, and you can figure out the rest of it from there.
Exactly. And what I want to point out too, like Michelle, what you were saying, is it needs to be fun, number one, but number two, you don't have to put everything in there. You don't need to put everything but the kitchen sink in there, because you have to save some stuff for what you could talk about on the first date. So you just want to entice them. So these have been some great tips. So Michelle, tell our audience how they can find you.
Yeah, thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. Please just visit lovelifecoaching.com. And you can enter your name and email address there to receive 7 attraction principles to help you meet and attract the right guy. And then we can stay connected from there.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you like to see the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you like to get our free ebook on 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.